And then we all have a ball. So you can use this one tennis ball, pink ball, whatever ball you have. Some of you have even the little squash balls. Okay, that's really helpful. Want to just release the hands now because we've done a lot of work on the hands. So let's just take our ball and roll it in between the palm of the hands. You can sit however you want. I'm just sitting in Uttanasana, which is a wide angle. Nice lift of the pelvis, though. I love how the music is like, I know it's like, we're like, I can feel everyone kind of going with it. Yeah, I know, right? It's like, hey, and then as you're rolling through the palm of the hands, just take note, just grab it in one palm of the hand, give it a little bit of a squeeze. Okay, whatever hand you grabbed it in, so I have it in my right hand. You'll probably always go with your dominant hand. You're going to put it on the other side. Oops, maybe not. The other side of the chest. So you're going to go below collarbone. And I just want you to massage the pec. Yeah, the pec minor. That's what your body was asking me for last week. And I was like, oh, I don't have time for this. But here you are. Yeah, but this is your other place. Okay, especially when you get tight shoulder. Yeah. And so you can go on an angle, you can roll in circles, you can go across the muscle. Just remember, we want to meet the fascia in softness. Okay. So we want to start soft. Sometimes we go in and we're like, oh my God, let's go firmer. But that's sometimes not what the fascia needs. Okay, because it has a whole bunch of neuroreceptors, around 250 million or so. And so it is your richest sensory organ. So you want to approach it with softness so that it slowly opens up for you. And then I want you to go through upper arm. So I'm just going to turn for you. I want you to check in and wear a shirt so you could specifically see around the shoulder. You might even want to go around the ball and socket. So you've got your deltoid muscle there. You also have a really deep fascial kind of gripping of ligaments all around, and then start to go down and see how it feels. Because now we're starting to get into the lower deltoid, and then we're starting to get into all the bicep, front, tricep, back. So just check in. Maybe the palm turns forward, and you check in what's happening here. Condyle of the elbow. You have two knobs on each side. So condyle is a knob. You have them on your knees too. A lot of the muscles that go into tendons, they connect to the inner and outer condyle. Specifically, we're talking about the elbow joint, right? So you might notice as you go down, you're like, as I get closer to the elbow, it's a little bit more sensitive, or maybe there's like a spot in it where you feel a little bit of bunching and you can feel, oh, there's an adhesion or it's a little bit stuck there. So just be a little bit softer. Remember, you can always just put a little bit of compression and just hold. Remember, you can turn palm down and then go into the upper part of the arm, getting into where the bicep and the tricep meet. Maybe it's lateral. How's that one feel? Yeah. And so when you kind of find where it's holding, you can know that's, yeah, you can feel it, right? So very gently, right? Like after we do the ball rolling, check in with yourself the next day. And if it's still quite tender, then you don't ball roll the next day. Okay. You let it rest and then revisit it the other day. Okay. So you don't ever want to, because sometimes, yeah, you don't want to. I know. That's why I said I could feel it right away. I could feel you going deep, and I was like, okay, I gotta tell Marsha because we're slowly like just creating a dialogue with each other, and so. But I could feel right away, and I was like, oh, because most of you know my dialogue. I'm always like, stop, 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 right? Yeah. Okay. Good. It was so funny. Well, it was funny because when I got here today and I was going to get my stuff, and it was like intuitive wisdom said, ball rolling arms today is needed. And I said, okay, great. And so I just listened. Yeah, gentle. Okay, and don't forget forearms. Okay, so you can do forearms, palm up. Okay, those are your flexor muscles. Palm down is extensor. Anytime you're doing this, that's bringing in the extensors. And remember, as you kind of go, a lot of the extensor muscles connect to the lateral epicondyle, pinky side of the hand. A lot of the flexor muscles connect to the inside, which is it's tricky because there we go, it's here. It's funny because when you roll your forearm, you have a radius bone, and what it does is it radials, it turns like it has a radius motion. So it's actually like a ball and socket almost at the arm. So when you do a opening of the palm, external and internal, we call it inversion or eversion. The radius is rolling over. So you can see, right? It kind of rolls over. So it has a little pivot where it rolls here. So it's kind of cool. You take your time. When you're done, I just want you to feel each arm. Now notice if you need a little bit of support, you can sit on a block. You can also, which some of you know, sitting on a slow-mo ball. And if you do want to do a little bit of work of just sitting on the slow-mo ball or on a block or on a bolster, you can do a tiny bit of rolling before we go into the other side. And then just let that release the pelvic floor, the outer hips as we come forward. And then you can find a spot. So I'm offering butterfly, okay, with soles of the feet together, close to the pelvis or a little bit far away as an option as well. You just want to release the hips a tiny bit. So when we have the feet closer, we're getting adductors adding to the body. It's when we squeeze, so all that ballroom squeezing and that we did. This is releasing that muscle that we just went into. Okay, so you're squeezing the ball in the other hand, and then you're placing it on the other side of the chest. Just working a tiny bit of grip strength first before we go into the pectoralis minor and major muscle. We're releasing this because we're going to lie on our belly first after this, and we're going to do some work to strengthen back before we go into our hip flow. So I just wanted to release the torso first, and the shoulders and the arms. So I know which I'm being guided to share with you in the collarbone. For me, when I kind of travel right along the bottom of the collarbone, I can feel kind of holding a little bit there. Yeah, and so sometimes it's you might notice the attachment of the muscle or the fascia to the bone. So if there's a bone nearby, you can go towards it and go, oh, okay, I feel a little bit of holding. And so you can just even pause when you find that. Remember, back off, breathe, listen, go in. Your fascia is your richest sensory organ. It's not your skin, it's not your eyes, it's your fascia. So it's sensing, it's communicating with you. So you can pause and you can listen. A lot of the students, they always say, I have issues in my tissues. It always makes me laugh. But you also have the fascia that will communicate with you, right? And so whenever we have a traumatic event or something really stressful that happens, or we have prolonged holding, which is like more of a chronic condition rather than an acute, or we have an injury or a fall or something like that, it actually is held in the fascia. And so if you don't process it properly, what you do is you end up storing it. And after we do ball rolling, I always share with you that sometimes after class, things might percolate up, right? And just note, like sometimes there's emotion or different things that come up. Just let them, if you feel comfortable and you feel like you're in a safe space, kind of move out. And you don't have to know the why, right? You don't have to get into the story, right? Unless you want to, but most of the time it's just a fleeting holding, right? That your body's saying, okay, I'm ready to get rid of. And so if you don't want to revisit, or like, you don't always have to investigate and go, oh, what was that? Or you know just allow yourself to, if you feel safe in the moment, to let it go. I've also found that body decides it wants to release, and I don't feel safe in the environment or comfortable to be vulnerable enough to release in that moment, right? And so that's always like, okay, body, thank you, I realize that that's there, and I'm going to go home, and then I'm going to create a space for you to let go, right? At a later time. Okay, so you're going through upper arm, lower arm. Okay, and bodies are asking, all of your bodies are speaking to me saying, I want to lie down on my back first before I go on my belly. So we're going to just, whenever you're done, there's no rush here. You are just going to put the ball away, release the legs, and just lie on your back. And there's no rush. Just take your time. The ball can just be off to the side, and then you can just roll down. You might support your head. You might just lie flat on the floor. You might wiper the leg. I want you to create as much space as your arms need to express. Okay, so if you've got a lot of props beside you, just push them out of the way. Okay, and let your arms have as much movement as they want. I'm going to bring in a little motion of releasing through lower body and upper body. So arms can be out in line with the shoulders. They can be a little bit lower than the height of the shoulders as well. Just a place where you feel that your arms can relax. So it's at least a foot to a foot and a half away from the pelvis, but you decide how high you want to go. Okay, and then the feet, I want you to widen the feet so that you can feel the outer edge of your mat. Your thighs are going to internally rotate. And some of you, your inner thighs might even touch. Okay, just letting the back body spread as we feel spacious heart. Okay, just let your eyes close or soften if you feel okay with that. And just let your breath have some time. Might be in the nose, out the mouth. Might be a sigh, a pursed lip breath. Just giving time for whatever needed to release from heart, through shoulders, through arms and hands. You're always remembering that our shoulders and our arms are expression of our heart center. It's a very tender place. And the element that flows with it is the element of air. So your breath. It's all interconnected here. This is our place where we offer forgiveness towards self, offer love towards self, a compassionate awareness. Whatever is arising, we meet ourselves in tenderness. So just let anything that wants to move through you. This is a safe space. I'm happy to hold space for you as we meet together, and just notice if anything wants to bubble up, and just let go. Sometimes there's tears, sometimes you might just get a thought. If you want to just stay quiet for a little bit, please do. If you want to do a little twist, we're going to move from the power of the pelvis in this one. So not from our lower back. So we're not twisting from our lower back, and we're using the exhale to support us. So you're going to exhale inhale, you're going to allow the right hip to lift off the floor. You're going to allow the legs to release towards the left. You're going to exhale, feel the rib cage gather, the lower belly draw in, and just let your legs release to one side. Maybe your head turns to the left as well. And keep lifting up through the lower belly, lower pubic bone, gather the ribs together. Keep that integrity as you just soften around it. You might even release a little bit of energy out your right thigh, maybe your right big toe right under heel. Press a tiny bit into the floor. You feel that lengthen through right side of the thigh, hip flexing. Okay, so just releasing a little bit of fight or flight or softening nervous system. And then you're gonna just soften the right foot if you were pushing it into the floor. And then you're gonna think of your pelvis. Your pelvis is just gonna roll back onto the floor, bringing your legs back to center. So it's not your legs bringing you back, it's your pelvis. And then you find center again. And then you're going to inhale as you exhale. Left hip starts to lift off the floor, the legs release to the right, maybe your head. Keep exhaling, drawing lower belly in, gathering rib cage. Some of you will press through the left big toe, left inner heel into the floor. That right thigh will start to lengthen. And we're just doing a little quadricep. Hip flexor release, just releasing any stress and holding through the thigh. Keep a little bit of an internal rotation here. For some of you that tend to externally rotate. And I'm just going to let you go at your rhythm. So you soften, the pelvis rolls back on the floor, the legs follow back to center. And then you do another one at your timing off to each side. Remember your right hip lifts, the legs start to move to the left. Exhale. Maybe head follows. Keep gathering in the belly, wrapping back body to front body. You stay on each side for as long as you want, and then you soften, pelvis rolls back onto the floor, legs follow your timing. Always moving into the exhale through the twist, leading with pelvis, not lower back. Whatever side you're rolling to, let that side of your body be really heavy. And then once you're done, you check in. Maybe a little baby pose wants to come in, maybe a drawing the knees to the chest, hugging shins, back of the thighs. Some of you may grab the back of the thighs and shins and feet will come up. Some of you will grab big toes, ankles, just letting the lower back release. Just preparing the hips.